tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hello, AfterBuzzers! Welcome to the SNL After Show here at AfterBuzz, where we talk about all things SNL and we recap the most recent episodes. Tonight we're going to be recapping the episode with Ryan Gosling and Leon Bridges. I'm your host today. I'm Katie Wilbert, and you can find me on Twitter and Instagram and all the other social things just at Katie Wilbert. And I'm joined by the funny and talented and wonderful.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. My name's Amy Maestri. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Amy Maestri.
So we're really excited about the show tonight. Hopefully you guys loved it. If you guys tune in regularly, or even if you're just popping in for the first time, be sure to follow us on YouTube, on SoundCloud, iTunes, subscribe to all those wonderful things. And if you get a chance, rate us and give us good ratings if you enjoy it, so we can keep doing this show, because we love talking about SNL with you guys. But before we get started and recap everything, I wanted to chat about Amy and my week, because we had a pretty exciting funny woman week.
It was a good one.
Yeah, it was a good one. So Amy and I both are comedians, and we write and act and do the whole thing. And we got to see Amy Poehler get her star on the walk.
Yeah,
I know.
It deserves that reaction.
Yeah, SNL alum, mega superstar, epic woman, Amy Poehler. We got to see her in person, get her star on the Walk of Fame. It was the coolest thing, Amy.
Yeah, I think just getting to see someone who came from where so many of us are currently right now, just taking classes, doing improv, working with a group of people that you trust and that support each other, and then to get to where she is, and especially like the relationship that her and Tina built before SNL, far before SNL, and then through that, and then to do all that now, like, I think getting to see something like that was quite inspiring. Nice little midweek.
Yeah, I felt
treat.
tingly. I was just like happy for her and inspired. And yeah, I think even if you're not in this industry, when you see someone you admire receive an accolade, it's touching and motivating. So that was really cool. And then we got to attend the Funny Women Festival here in LA, because our show that we write together, Terrible HR, was a part of it. And it was really cool getting to see other sketches that other really talented women in LA have written and performed. So it's been a fun week for us in LA. That being said, after bragging about ourselves and our experiences,
that's all the show's gonna be tonight, guys. Sorry.
Hey, it was all SNL related. Let's get into last night's show. So yeah, Ryan Gosling was the host. And what did you think of the cold open, which was a Christmas message from Donald and Melania?
Yeah, I think one of the funniest things to me was that the makeup that they did for Trump was actually understated compared to what his face really looks like right now. Like with the tanning, the fake tanning, and then just the eyes being so white. I remember when I was watching a Trump interview recently, I was like, oh, like, it's bad. It's a caricature. It's so orange and then just pure white. That just cracked me up for some reason, because I was like, they went understated for what his face really looks like right now.
It's true.
What do you think of the sketch? He needs to be more orange, is I guess my overall.
So SNL makeup department noted.
Yeah, take note. But I thought it was funny. I like Taran's, the way he contorts his face for Trump always kills me. The voice, I think, is getting a little bit better too.
Yeah.
But the physical aspect of it, I thought, has always been really good, so I enjoyed that.
Yeah, I agree. And I kind of closed my eyes a second time watching it and thought, yeah, I mean, it's hard to compete with Daryl, who's like the vocal impressionist master. But yeah, I feel like his impression is getting stronger. At the same time, I think politically watching Donald Trump right now, like you said, he's becoming more of a caricature of himself. So I think it is easier to impersonate someone who is such a large, ridiculous personality. So that's helpful. Yeah, I thought it was funny, not the funniest I've ever seen, but there are some things I wrote down, like the joke about him wanting the Muslims' names, I think, for like Santa's list or something.
Yeah, just asking for their names.
Yeah, because he obviously at some point in his race for presidency has said that he wants Muslim people to wear their crescent on there. It's just ridiculous.
Real things that are happening.
Real things in the world. It's so crazy. But I loved... Oh, thank you. Well, yeah, it's just done. Not okay. It's not 1942. Yeah, I loved...
It's a very specific year.
Well, I mean... I
like it.
World War II.
I like it. Yeah, it was good.
History.
On point.
If I had to describe myself in one word, I'd say history. I love Melania's laugh, and I liked the line of, that's why I married her. She's hilarious with boobs.
Yeah, that's really all he's looking for to me.
Yeah, I thought that was great. And I thought it was interesting, though, that at one point... he said a joke, I don't trust anyone who can fly over a wall, and he was talking about Santa, but it didn't get a laugh.
Total miss.
Uh-huh.
I was, when we were watching it, I started laughing, and then, like, I'm not even there, but I almost felt uncomfortable because I was like, oh, no one else is laughing.
Yeah, it was a
That's
real
really
strange
weird.
moment.
I thought it was a great joke.
Yeah, me too. I think it must have been timing or just one of those things. I mean, they've got a week to write these episodes, and they rewrite them, and then they run them in dress rehearsal, and then they knock things out and put new stuff in, and so you never know what's gonna hit, I guess, each night that they're trying to figure this out, right? So yeah. I'm sure some stuff lands that they're like, that wasn't even funny.
Yeah,
and it's just like a face they make. So I don't know. I thought it was a well-written joke that didn't get the credit it deserved. So
agreed.
So overall, what would you rate it?
I would give this like a B.
Okay. Yeah, I would too. I would say like a comfortable B.
Good college try.
Good college try.
I don't know why that's what I just said.
So then there was the musical monologue, which was the Canadian Christmas song. I mean, it was special, I think, because Mike Myers came out, and Kimberly Crossman, our other host, who's not here, and shout out to Kelly McInerney, who's also not here. We miss you guys. Kim and I were just recently talking about, like, where has Mike Myers been? And then lo and behold,
there he
appears alongside Ryan Gosling. What did you think of the monologue?
I think it was a funny idea.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if it ever totally landed for me. Anytime they do a group musical number, I like it too. So I almost kind of wish that they had brought that in maybe earlier at some point. But I think it was funny. And I actually started to write, like when they started to say sorry and with the accent thing, I was like, oh, I was waiting for the jokes of Canadians always apologizing. And so and I didn't think it was going to come. So I started writing, thought sorry was going to launch into joke about, never mind, ... They did it. So
that's always good.
That teaches me to not second guess you, SNL. You did it.
See, they've been around for 40 years.
I guess they know what they're doing.
Yeah. Well, that's
okay,
good. Okay,
Lorne Michaels.
Yeah, I agree with you, though. It felt like there was maybe some dead air or, like, just timidness in the song, like, between the two of them singing. I think it was a well-written song. Like, a lot of the references were funny. Clubbing seals isn't actually funny, but I guess it's so ridiculous. It makes me laugh, and always ending it, that's what Canadian Christmas is about. Yeah. I like that. But, yeah, there were some... maybe just jitters.
I think, yeah, that's a good point, that it just seemed off from the beginning. Like, I don't know, again, because they do make so many changes, a lot of times, we don't know. It could be something that completely changed 10 minutes before they went live.
Oh, yeah.
So I mean, something like that, it almost seems like it could have been something like that, just because it was a little, like, it was just a little rocky, it felt like.
Yeah, I felt that too.
But enjoyable, and man, Mike Myers.
I know.
Man can dance.
Oh, that tap dance.
A little tap dance number for us.
Oh my gosh. If you kind of went like this and you just looked at his legs, I was like, that is a graceful lady in pants. That's how I felt about it, that he was a lady in pants with a man's upper.
A lady in pants, you say?
I don't know. It was so graceful. I was like, I can't even dance like that.
Yeah.
And I'm a lady. But
it was nice.
It was beautiful. So kudos, Mike Myers.
Good work.
What would you give the monologue?
I'm gonna go B-.
Solid B's.
No.
B's in the house. Me too. So then after the monologue, we had the first digital short, which was Settle, the app. Question. Yes. Have you used any dating apps?
I have not, because I cannot take any of them seriously.
Cool.
Have you?
So funny story. My sister did convince me to go on Match.com for all of 30 seconds because I was like, fine, I'll try it. Like, I guess online dating seems more old school to me than phone dating because I'm so old school. I'm like, I need to meet someone in person. But I was like, at least online dating's been around for like the last 10 years. So maybe it's more of a thing. No, I joined it for like 30 seconds and I immediately was flooded with these crazy messages from guys who were taking selfies like in their car in the dark, like with hoods on. And I just was like, that's so scary. And also, like, really represent yourself well. What's the whole point of this anyways? And yeah, I just immediately took it off and was like, that was so uncomfortable, which now has made me never want to do any dating site ever again. So I just think maybe not for me, but a lot of people I know have met their current significant other on Tinder. So not knocking it, just not for the people at this table, I guess.
You know, not trying to knock it. And we were actually, right after we saw Amy Poehler, the star ceremony, we were laughing at one of the billboards around LA. That has the ad for like
there's a billboard for anti-STD
like to
campaign.
Get tested and stuff, and it just lists like Tinder and Grindr, and we're like, wow, they must love that promotion.
It's got these very strange silhouetted faces, like two people making out, and one face says Tinder and it's making out with gonorrhea, and then one says Grindr and it's making out with chlamydia. It's like, I'm sure that those companies are so grateful that you associated their application with a specific STD. Like,
they got specific with it. Like,
they got real specific. It was so strange.
Tinder.
Yeah. Anyways, Settle, the app, the digital short. The line I wrote down is, it's not giving up, it's settling up. And I felt like it kind of encapsulated what the sketch was about. But what were your thoughts on it?
I loved it. This was one of the favorites. He's perfect.
Our producer, our amazing producer, Zach, just pulled up the picture.
The actual billboard.
The
perfect.
Thank you, Zach.
This was one of my favorites of the night. I thought it was really well done. I loved, speaking of being specific, Vanessa's line. The specificity in it is so good when she's saying, yeah, sure, he drives a smart car and is a manager at Petco. He even has a 401k. Like, that just painted I didn't even need to see Taryn at that point. It was great, like, the way he was dressed and everything about that, but she just painted such a picture with that. I was like, done. Nailed it.
I thought it was very on point. I loved Kyle sitting down and being like, hey, sorry I'm late. I don't have a car. And you can see Leslie's pain face like, whatever. It was great.
Boiling over.
Yeah, I think, and maybe that's been my opinion of dating apps until seeing my friends actually date people who are normal. So not knocking it, but yeah, up until that point, I think I've been a little like, oh, I don't know if I'm at that stage in my life where I need to do that yet. Yeah. But then everyone's doing it, so all the kids are doing it, Amy.
All the kids are doing it these days. I guess we gotta jump on that.
Gotta jump on it. I thought it was great. I gave it an A.
I would agree.
A.
That's her new thing now.
I wish I could know what note that was that I sang, and hopefully it was an A, so it was like AAA. It was like, wow, in your face. Anyways, so the sketch after that was the alien abduction scene set at the Pentagon. Oh my God. I feel like all of the internet was talking about this, which also I think started the cycle of Ryan Gosling breaking in every single scene from that point on.
He could not keep it together.
No, he couldn't. And I mean, I empathize because I've been in those situations where you get the giggles and you can't get rid of them. I used to do that in math all the time. We'd be like, in school, I'd have a test and I'd think of something funny from earlier and I'd start laughing by myself and I'd be removed from class because I couldn't be responsible enough to not disrupt the class. I empathize. That's probably what happened. But with good reason, because how amazing was Kate McKinnon?
Oh, God. And that's the thing. It's always so hard when there's a specific person making you laugh when you have to continue doing the same sketch with them, because every time you look at them now, it's going to happen. You're going to start to laugh again. And yeah, Kate she had everyone going though.
Yeah.
80 was trying to hold it. I think Cecily probably did best holding it together. 80, you could hear it in her voice even sometimes when she was just like about to lose it. Bobby started giggling.
80 was crying. She had tears in her eyes. I mean, and some people give other people shit for breaking, and if you do it all the time, then I guess okay, fair enough. But I loved Jimmy Fallon for his breaks, but it's also Jimmy Fallon. Like he's that personality. There's such a relatability to Jimmy Fallon that when he broke, it's like, because it's when you were breaking too. I don't know, but I give him a pass because it's Jimmy Fallon and I adore him. But I think it was a fun, nice moment to see for everyone. I'm gonna drink some water.
Yeah, do that. I think with breaking too, like you said, if they're doing it too much, it does, like, you'll work through it. I'm just gonna keep talking over here. You just do your thing. Can we get a cough drop? Yeah, I think when it does happen all the time, it's just like that is when it's no longer funny. But something like this that just randomly happened, and it reminded me, it had potential to turn into Debbie Downer. The epic Debbie Downer of where it was just like they might as well just been like, we're done.
Sorry, I'm just crying and dying over here. I'm getting over a cold in my throat. I don't have any soft tissue.
You're doing good, champ. No soft tissue.
I'm just gonna cry and cough through the rest of this.
Works.
I wrote down the Jimmy Fallon breaks during Debbie Downer with Lindsay Lohan.
Yeah.
It's like my favorite episode of all time. Maybe my favorite sketch of all time. And now I'm a little like, is this alien abduction scene my favorite?
I know. It's it's the same thing. It's a very funny sketch that just like everyone started losing it during. So I mean, it would have been funny anyways, but just seeing them all just trying so hard to keep it together. And Kate was even cracking herself up a little bit too. She was like,
I love that. I love when people, I don't know, like, it was so funny that even with the breaking, like, it didn't ruin it for me at all. And I felt like it was so quotable.
Yeah. And then, actually, like, aside from the breaking, it was just such a great sketch. The fact that she kept saying the knocker stuff for referring to getting hit in the boobs repeatedly by aliens.
Oh my gosh.
The knocker stuff. The
then
phrases.
She taps Cecily's boobs. It was so good. I'm like, let's say I'm crying because it's so funny.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna have to say, Coot Coot wins the night.
Oh,
call it just Coot Coot.
Coot Coot. I'm only ever gonna call my vagina Coot Coot.
Forever and ever.
Hopefully, I can say vagina because I just said it twice. Watch me pee in a gray metal box or bowl. And I don't think I was dealing with top brass.
Yes, that was
maybe not even the funniest thing they wrote, but like the way she said it.
Yeah, it was just so funny. Really well written sketch. Like everything was very like they painted a lot of nice pictures. Like the writing was good sketch writing, but it was just good writing.
Yeah.
Too, in a lot of cases, their word choices and a lot of the phrases that they used. And again, at the end, picturing this character pantsless on the top of a Long John Silver's. it just, that alone just made me laugh. So I think it was just, and the escalation of it all too, with like the things that she was saying, the things that were happening to her. I love this character from her.
I mean, I don't want to jump the gun, but it was my favorite sketch of the night.
I'm in.
By far.
I'm in.
Okay,
So good.
we're agreed. Best sketch. I mean, I gave it an A+ with a cough.
I will give it an A+ without the cough, but don't take that wrong. I
won't.
I loved it just as much as you, I think.
I won't. And
all right, thanks.
I'm not offended that you're not crying like me, because we can't all be as emotional. Talking about Kate McKinnon.
That's right.
And if you're just now tuning in, that's exactly what's happened with me.
Got deep.
You like me. You really like me. So moving on. Santa Baby, the second digital short. This is actually my second favorite sketch of the night. I immediately texted Kimberly, like, you have to watch this. And more because I thought the slow escalation of the joke, which was this couple, these new neighbors come to this Christmas party, and they believe Santa's real, and they find out via the host that he's upstairs, which of course we later see Santa comes down as Beck Bennett. And I just thought this couple, like, Ryan was so funny, Vanessa was so funny. Also, kudos to her for, like, making out with Ryan Gosling.
Yeah.
Thought it was great.
Yeah, this was another favorite of the night for me. I like that they really dove right in. Immediately, you knew what the game was. Seconds into the sketch, and you're just like, oh, perfect. But then they did a good job of kind of taking it to the next level every time too, because I immediately was like, oh, okay, cool, funny game. But then, like, once they started getting, like, turned on by the Santa idea and, like, everything, and it just kept getting progressively so much weirder. I thought it was great getting to see the two of them, and the awkwardness at the end of like with their dancing and with the lighting and everything, and the way that they cut it together and then just panned back to have them just up there awkwardly dancing and everyone watching them.
Of it, right? Like,
yeah, it just sinks in.
There was something, and I guess I wondered what they modeled it after. Like, was it, yeah, because they almost felt like a gangster couple or something, like from a like a old school, like, Mob or something movie. I don't know. I thought it was fascinating.
Yeah.
Zach's bringing me more water because I'm slowly dying on camera. Thank you, Zach.
That's beautiful.
What a sweet man.
Look
I hope that when
that.
he gets back in his producer's room, he gives himself a round of applause.
Yeah,
I'm hoping that he's now in there applauding
for
himself.
the round of applause.
Sweet
yeah,
relief.
I think the two of them complemented each other really nicely too, with him being just so stern, like,
yeah,
I would very much like to meet him, and Vanessa's just sheer excitement from
when she puts her leg over the couch, like, I love seeing Vanessa be this, like, hypersexual person and, like, yeah, baby, we're gonna see Santa, baby, I love you, like, I'm scared, like, everything about it, her whispering. Favorite part, though, was Beck Bennett in the Santa costume crying, like, so
he was so terrified
and uncomfortable.
So terrified.
I thought it was great. Like, as I think it's awesome to see a sketch that is like a dramatic comedy scene, because it only works if everyone in the scene is able to get emotional. And I think it was my favorite scene for Ryan Gosling, because I think he plays that stronger than he does, like, a wacky character. Because I think when he's a wacky character, he's more self-aware of himself.
Yeah.
And you can see it's Ryan Gosling playing a wacky character versus him getting into, like, I think if you give him something where he gets emotional, he's, like, good to go.
Yeah. And he's still able to tap into it comedically. Like, in that, yeah, he cracked me up in that. I thought he was great. And one of the lines that, again, like, really just great writing in this episode, he's a beautiful ancient man for Santa Claus. Like, who describes Santa as a beautiful ancient man? I love it.
So good. The writing, the whole episode, I think, was really specific, and there were so many quotable tokens that I think this episode, especially the alien scene, will be one that people will quote for a long time.
Yeah. I recently, before we came here tonight, we were actually working on a sketch show that we're doing with some other very funny ladies. Yes. And so I was watching some of my favorite sketches before, and one of my all-time favorites is Mirror Image, which Kristen Wiig did when Amy Adams hosted a while back. And I was crying so many tears the first time I saw it. And a lot of the writing in this episode reminded me of that sketch, because it was a sketch that was kind of a silly premise, and, you know, it was kind of goofy at times, but it just had such brilliant writing in it. The line that I always remember is he's talking about the girl coming into the classroom, and he said, based on her one attempt at class participation, she's functionally illiterate. And I'm just like, that's not a line you hear in a sketch every day. And it's just those well-written little nuggets that come in, and this episode had so many of them.
So good. Just compliments all around. So many compliments. A. Mike Myers. Compliments and Canadians.
Yes.
They
go hand in hand.
They do. The sketch after that was the girl's birthday with the cool dad and Aidy Bryant as a sexually aggressive preteen. Yeah. She's 13 and a half to be exact. Do you like that, Mr. Miller? Was kind of her tagline. I don't believe we've seen this character before, but I could be wrong. It felt so in her wheelhouse that I wasn't sure. Yeah. Not that I didn't like it, because I loved it. And I felt like this was so comfortable for her to play that she killed it.
Yeah, I think Aidy has done a really good job of honing in, like, what she is and what she does on the show. I think she channels a lot of Melissa McCarthy, which I love, in just that, like, really just badass, like, kind of cocky, she just gets into it. And this was an interesting sketch for me, because immediately I wasn't totally happy, because I was like, the cool dad thing, like, where all the friends, you know, like, it's so overdone, and it's usually not, I usually don't find it funny, because I don't think if they don't find a way to make it different, they found a way to make it a little different with her being, you know, that sexually aggressive character. The more of that, I think it got funnier.
Did you think it was going to be about the dad and less about the girl?
Yeah, and then once she started saying things, I was like, okay, cool. So focus is going to shift, which is good, because I think it was a good way to segue into it for her to be like, oh, but no, he is hot, you know, like, so I was like, okay, that's a good segue, just because I think that, that, like, embarrassing but cool dad is just right? It never really goes anywhere. So I think this was a fun way to make it different, and to just have, you know, her showcase that character, which, again, that character for her is just, it's perfect. It's right up her alley, and she nailed it. Yeah,
I agree with you. I thought it was great. Again, with the writing, not even the stuff that was, I think, meant to be like characters. I mean, the tagline was, do you like that, Mr. Miller? And there were, like, a lot of things that were more, this is meant to be a joke, but small things like, what in the fat hell are you talking about? Like, the way things were written, just in the character's specific way of speaking, I thought was really nice. And when she licks his finger and is like, you're a child who just, like,
licked my adult finger.
Yeah, licked the hell out of my adult finger. I thought it was so funny.
Just adding the word adult in there made it 10 times funnier. It wouldn't have been a laugh line if he just said finger, I don't think. But it's
so much good.
It's great.
I even
much goodness.
So much goodness. I even laughed at her pratfall at the end, where she runs into the wall and the table. It wasn't the funniest moment I thought of the sketch. I thought the writing was smarter than the fall, but enjoyable nonetheless.
Yeah. I was like, she just took the longest route ever for that fall. I just kind of laughed and shook my head like, what just happened? But she did a good job with it. I think the blocking of it was kind of weird, but she physically did a very good job with it. And just seeing her covered in cake at the end was nice ending.
Primo. It was primo.
We're bringing that back now.
Yeah, well, we watched a lot of Nespresso commercials earlier to try and understand what happened later in the episode with SNL. But I don't want to jump the gun. We'll get to that. So, musical guest was Leon Bridges. I'd never heard of his music before. Loved it. He's got this kind of... not folksy, but it's bordering between like folk, rock, and blues, which I actually really like. It reminds me of Ray LaMontagne, but less depressing. I love
Nice.
Ray LaMontagne, but
Nice.
his songs make me want to cry and drink a bottle of gin.
You really are an old woman.
I know.
I love that you just chose gin of all the drinks.
I don't drink gin. It makes me very ill. It tastes like a Christmas tree, and it makes me ill. That's what I think. It tastes like pine. If I could age myself more.
You can't.
Just so
trust
you all
me.
know, there is a drawer in my nightstand dedicated just to knitting needles and yarn. Not just knitting needles, because then I'm like some weird serial killer who kills people with knitting needles. You guys didn't need to know that, but that was fun information for everyone. Yeah, I know. Thank you, Zach. And crickets. Uncomfortable for everyone.
Well done.
But Leon Bridges, I thought the performance was great. I liked the stage picture of what they created for him on stage. We're just going to put both performances together.
Yeah.
First song was upbeat. Second one was slower.
I like that's a very good description.
That's what happened.
Speaking of painting a picture, Katie.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's okay. Sorry that
Vivid.
I'm so descriptive.
Vivid.
Some people can't handle my descriptions.
It's
They're
just too
good.
real. Katie, just calm down. I can't take anymore.
Sorry. What'd you think?
Yeah, I liked him. I'd never heard of him before. But yeah, I always like to, and they kind of change it up. I think especially, I mean, maybe he is like, I think he's still very new, I would assume, since I've never heard of him. But also I'm like,
Amy knows
well,
everyone, so if
I've
she
never
hasn't heard of him, then he must be new.
if I've never heard of you, you don't matter.
I love that.
But yeah, I feel like he's kind of new. So I like especially too, like getting to hear like two different sides of the performer. So
Thought he
cool.
was great.
I liked
Great
it.
charisma. Moving on. Weekend update. I thought there were a lot of funny jokes in here. I continue to love Jost and Shay's budding relationship.
It's gotten so much better.
Yeah.
I was not a fan initially, and it's gotten so much better. And tonight especially, it actually kind of reminded me, I almost wish that they would kind of segment something for them, because kind of what they're doing is almost like Really with Seth and Amy, when they do take one joke and then just kind of go back and forth on it. And I kind of would really like to see them. I kind of would really like to.
You're not sure.
I'm not quite sure.
Kind of,
right
but
now.
100%.
Kind of, but totally should do this. I think that they should do something like that where it's more of a segment, like to kind of create their own thing, because I think that's always fun when they do that. And a lot of update hosts have done something like that where they have their own little segments like that. So I think if they kind of like found a way to make it a little bit more their own, and do something like that where it was just more of like a thing, I think would make it even better. But I do like a lot of their chemistry is so much better. Their jokes back and forth. I like it.
Were there any jokes in particular that were your favorites?
Isis Cosby.
Yes, that was good. So they
For
were
baby names.
They were saying the worst baby name of the year was Isis Cosby, and then I loved Shay's follow up that there's no way that baby's white.
Yeah, yeah, because they showed the picture of the white baby.
And I feel like it gives this sort of delayed laugh because you think about it and then you picture and then you're like, no, you're right.
Yeah, you're like, yeah, I didn't. That's not a white baby.
No, no. So I agree. I thought that was really funny. We had two guests on their weekend update: Cecily's Jill Davenport and Bobby's Anthony Crispino. What did you think of Jill Davenport?
I think that Cecily, when she does update characters, she just crushes it every time. This wasn't my favorite that she's done, but I think that they nailed it by hitting every single stereotype that you could possibly do when you're that type of like flirty girl. And even within this just quick character, there's escalation of it with ending with the can you open a jar for me? Why the hell does she have a jar?
Inside the jar is a popsicle. And then she's like, I guess I'll go out with you. And he's like, what? I thought you had a boyfriend. He died. Like,
yeah.
I thought it was a great escalation of that character. And you're right. I think she knows how to come on and be 100% with her energy. I think characters that are low energy don't work on Weekend Update.
Yeah.
And I'm not entirely sure why, but I think it's because it's just a desk. And I think you have to, like, come forward with a lot of energy or it's going to be maybe less enjoyable.
Yeah, that's true. I can see that. And yeah, when someone comes out and just immediately, like, before she even spoke, you knew what kind of character she was just because, like, the way that she was playing with her hair and, like, smiling.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't totally know what, you know, the entire game was going to be, but right away you're like, okay, I get it. I see. I like it. She's into it. And I think that makes a big difference when from the second they come out, you already see it. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, so I liked it. I thought it was great. Anthony Crispino. I don't know that it's my favorite character, but the more that I watched it, I don't like the weird looking around thing. The physicality of looking around like someone's going to come at them at some point. Because I feel like it's two separate games. I feel like the character giving secondhand news, like, yeah, did you hear you need to get a Dell, like Dell computer, not Adele the singer. I think there's so many great jokes in there already that the weird, like, suspicious behavior, like, isn't necessary. But then I guess it's part of that persona, and I don't know how he developed the character. So
I think
judge,
that
I guess.
that kind of makes that point make sense because he's an informant, so of course they're kind of shady. But again, like, I think it's a separate thing within itself. The funnier part of this, you know, he's not funny because he's an informant. He's funny because he's an informant who's bad at his job.
Yeah, the way he says stuff.
Yeah, and that's interesting too because I think that it doesn't always need that. And I'm always like, it doesn't really need all the, like, when he goes too much with the high-pitched stuff. It's funny at the end to do something like that, I think. But, like, sometimes when he does this character and he starts doing that too much, I'm like, it's
overplayed, maybe?
Yeah, like, I mean, we don't need all that, especially when the writing for the character itself is that good. Like, you don't need to make silly noises to make us laugh. Like, we like your character. We don't need all that.
I love
all
how
that
gently
jazz.
you said that.
Yeah.
You said that really gently. Like,
no, we just don't need it, buddy.
That's so nice of you.
I'm trying.
Wow, Amy, it's really beautiful.
Thank you.
I agree with what you've said. I'd like to move on. I gave it a B.
I would
just keep with the ratings.
Yeah, just to stay consistent, I'll go with a B as well.
This episode was so comfortable for us.
Yeah.
I did laugh a lot though, so.
Oh, also real quick, he brought up Cool Runnings, so that's I might have to bump it up
Always
to a B plus just
favorite.
for Cool Runnings.
Do that. I
B
like
plus.
it. Generous. GQ magazine interview where Kyle Mooney is a weird friend. What did you think?
Kyle was everything. I think is the best description for this. Wasn't my favorite. I see what they're doing, and I like when they do that. They try to pick out certain things about, you know, whoever's hosting. Like, oh, it's funny, like, everyone saw the videos of, like, Ryan Gosling dancing, so it'd be funny to do something with that. And I think this was a nice way of doing it. But for me, it was really all just down to Kyle's performance, because he was so good with the weird voice that he was doing. And again, the nicknames that he had for everyone. Those little nuggets, again, that they had in the writing. His nicknames were killing me.
I agree. Oh, that voice, like, so high pitched. Like, great for a bully, because I think you normally think of a bully being, like, really masculine and with, like, a deep voice. But he would be a Canadian bully.
Yeah, that I
right?
guess maybe that is what a Canadian
set,
bully.
Yeah, it's set
like.
in his hometown, so he's got a really high pitched voice, crazy haircut. He was just ridiculous. I agree.
Yeah.
Kyle Mooney was everything, and I didn't necessarily like the ending, and I felt like all the other sketches had a pretty good button. This one, like, oh, I've got the perfect way to cap this interview, and it's like them two on the cover of GQ saying Ryan Gosling has weird friends. I didn't feel like it was the strongest. It felt like we kind of don't know how to end it, so we're gonna say his weird friends. But it also wasn't really the focus of, I feel like, you're right, Kyle Mooney was everything, and that's what you were watching. That's what mattered. His isms, like, pretty pencils over here, or Tammy typewriter, crying Ryan. Like, the alliteration and rhymes that were coming out of his mouth at a rapid pace was so enjoyable.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, agreed. And yeah, SNL has a weird way of doing that a lot of times with the endings where it just kind of,
poof.
You're just like, oh, okay, that's over now. Weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, I think so, because actually specifically the Santa one, I was like, oh, that's a great ending with the real Santa, you know, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh, great, you know, like there was some that had really strong endings in this one, but yeah, that was the one that I was just like, oh, okay, we're done now.
But then, I mean, I guess how would you have ended it differently if you could?
I think I'm not sure what beat, but I think it should have ended on a Kyle beat. I'm not, yeah, again, yeah, I don't know what specific, but because he was so strong and he was the one carrying it, I think maybe ending on like a beat for him or
Even
some sort of
another alliteration of like
yeah, one last weird nickname,
calling himself a nickname or something. I forget what his name was.
A callback to like one of the early, like
Tyler
to one of the
something.
yeah,
like I'm timid Tyler. I don't know.
yeah. I would like to see it end with something on him.
Yeah, agreed. So we'll bust through this Nespresso. So Amy and I went and we watched some of the Nespresso commercials with George Clooney and Matt Damon. So weird. The real ones, please go watch them because it's enjoyable how weird these commercials are, and they must be paying them a buttload to have these A-lister actors.
And to do a lot of them.
Oh yeah, there's a 27-minute video on YouTube of them doing this. So, I mean, I don't even really want to talk so much about the SNL one.
Because the original one is weird enough. The entire time we were watching it, I just kept going, no.
No, it was real strange. So, I give this a B. I think if you haven't seen the real one, you don't get why it's happening at all. I thought the one line that Amy and I laughed very loud at was sushi doesn't even go with coffee, because we were like, oh my God, that's so true. But overall, Touché. I just felt like everyone on Earth needs to go watch the real Nespresso commercials.
Yeah. You won't get through all of it.
No, it's too bad.
If you do, bravo. That's impressive.
Bad. Okay, so we've got 2 more sketches. The Wiz Live. What did you think?
I thought it was funny. I think there wasn't much to it. Like, we get the joke of, you know, like of the character from the original coming in. Like, I didn't think there was a lot to it, but I think that with a simple premise, they did a good job with it. I don't know. Yeah, it was just kind of so for me, but it had some funny stuff in it. At the end, when they were saying, like, you know, we had a lot of meetings on this for like if they could use the term like flying monkeys or not, and things like So I thought that was fun.
Reactions to things that could be potentially misconstrued as racist was probably the funniest jokes in it, and I thought otherwise it was just like a nice scene that had like a large group of people in it that I enjoyed, but it wasn't like the flashiest. The set and the costumes were bombs. Yeah. So kudos to makeup, costume, and setting.
Yeah, for sure.
And they probably don't give it enough credit on the regs. They were great. I also know they acknowledged someone who I believe passed away, who was part of makeup or costume.
That's right. Yeah, at the end. Yeah.
Yeah. So our heart goes out to them and their family and the SNL family. Our last sketch was the horny S&M elves. We've seen them before. I still find them very funny. Maybe because I think it's like Vanessa's weird facial expressions she does. If you're listening to this only, you can't see me like doing weird faces and jutting my body, but that's what I'm doing. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, Vanessa makes this for me every time, just because it's like such a creepy little thing that she's always doing, like these little just evil grins every once in a while, and like you said, just the way that she works her body into it so much. It's not like you're never going to be surprised by this. It's not anything spectacular, but the way that they do it, specifically Vanessa and Ryan Gosling, his little grin was cracking me up good. Too. He was very eager. He was a very eager little elf.
Very excitable. Overall, I don't know about you, but I thought it was a fine episode. Yeah. I feel like there's many sketches we'll be quoting in times to come. Do you have an MVP real quick?
You know what? I'm gonna go 2 weeks strong, Vanessa.
Yeah.
Again, I'm tempted to go with Kate just because she crushed. She was great in everything that she did, last night. But for that one sketch with the aliens, but Vanessa just strong as always, and she had a lot of good stuff in this episode. It was a really, really strong one for her, I think.
Yeah, Vanessa was mine too.
Nice.
I felt like she killed it. You guys, that's our show. Tune in with us next week because we're going to be going over the Chris Hemsworth episode. I'm Katie Wilbert. Thanks for tuning in. You can find me at Katie Wilbert.
I'm Amy Maestri. You can find me at Amy Maestri.
And tweet at us at ABTVSNL, and we'll see you next week. Thank you to our producer and AfterBuzz, and we'll catch you later.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
From executive producers...
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.